Hello. I was sitting in traffic and I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. I got so many things to do because a massive thing happens this weekend for me. Overloaded. My body's overloaded. I am overloaded. And I shouldn't say that. I was listening to another YouTube astrologer on the way in traffic. And they put themselves out there. And I was like, wow, they put themselves out there, because I'm putting myself out there all the time, and reminding me of this particular slide that I have. I'm prepared, I'm prepared. Sometimes you're not prepared. Sometimes you are the opposite. You're completely out of sorts and you don't have it together, right? So this live stream is about not having it together. And so in a sense, to help me get prepared for the rest of this week for myself, but for me to do this live stream and talk about the transits, some important ones this week, as a free-for-all. You guys will comment and chat, okay? How's that sound like? Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for the man with the yellow hat? Welcome to another surprise Astrology Weekly Forecast live stream from the Sparkles of Gold Studios with your host, Nicolas Polimanakos, a.k.a. Sparkles of Gold, a.k.a. Saturn Lover, a.k.a. the Pluto Life. Welcome to this episode and the first surprise live stream of the year. On this Monday, January 6th, the day here in America where a bunch of people tried to overthrow the Capitol. Let's just get this straight. They tried to overthrow the Capitol. And some of them are in prison right now, rightfully so. And now I heard someone's going to actually get them out when they're in office. Saying that, let's talk to an actual Gemini who has it together than the one who's going to be in office, okay? So welcome to the live stream with a political rant off the bat. And it's beautiful sounding happy. Sounds of a live stream. Hey, I see you all in chat already. Okay? I see all you in chat. See, because I wore this hat, the special hat to blind you from the reality. Okay, Mars, we know what's happening. We're going to talk about it. But you know what's really happening here with this stream? It's a Mercury and Sagittarius square Neptune live stream. So will I actually make any sense? Will any of this make any sense? Regardless, let us go on an imaginary journey of the transits this week and whatever the hell you're going to say in chat and whatever the hell I'm going to miss because I'm not prepared, and for whatever else just comes up on this journey, what materializes in front of us in a more wide shot view this time from the man with the yellow hat, okay? So I'll say hi to everybody in chat. What's up? I see who's here. Who decided to show up? GRP Jelly. Thank you. Hello. Glad you're here. Along with Canada Dry. I didn't say hi to you last time. Canada Dry was way crazy in that 3-hour live stream that I did. I saw you in there. This hat is making me... This is some Buddhist combination colors I got on. I'm not trying to be the Dalai Lama. As a matter of fact, I don't know what I am today. And so, Astro Stephanie, hello. What's up? What's up? Esmeralda, buenas tardes to you. Isha, hello. Isha's one of my channel subscribers, paid ones. GME in the chat, along with Jendi, another paid hello. Canada Dry with a super chat. This isn't going to look clear. It'll be worked on. I see you there, Canada Dry. Thank you. Ginger ale's on me. Ginger ale. I got some real ginger I've been cooking up, or not cook. I've been cooking with it, but I've been chewing on it. Just raw ginger, just because. Tina Reynolds, what's up? Yep. Patrick, a.k.a. DJ Jazzy Nick. Sometimes it's that way. Don't get me to try to rhyme. Tara, And Angel, another paid. Hi, how are you, Angel? Lorraine's in chat. Wake me from this. I'll wake you from the illusion. It's Mercury Neptune. Do you want me to wake you from this? Wild Magi in the chat, along with Holly and everyone else watching. I don't know who's watching. Who's watching? What's up? That's what's going on. Let's talk about some transits this week. We had something happen at 2:44 a.m. Such a happy, lovely transit, isn't it? Mars going back into Cancer? Maybe not. As a matter of fact, it might be unpleasant for many people. What are Cancer Risings dealing with these days? Go talk to them. As a matter of fact, I ran into one today. They weren't showing it because they were in a professional setting, but was it really a waterfall of tears behind the scenes? It could be that way. For anybody watching here that's new, you're finding myself here, make sure you go watch my forecast for the year. I'm going to throw this in there because I'm not getting enough people watching it. I just didn't get to hit the algorithm the right way, basically. I didn't hit it the right way. I just didn't. And it's a thing. So you could see my playlist on my page here for every single rising sign, for every single one. If you've watched this, great. Thanks. Do me a favor. Send it to somebody, will you? Help a brother out. Okay, help the man with the yellow hat out tonight. Okay, there's the link in there. Oh, see, Isha, that's funny. It's Isha saying something. You wouldn't believe what I have in front of me, Isha. You wouldn't believe what I have. What chart I was looking at last night. It was Justin Trudeau's chart. We'll get to that. I had a text conversation last night late with another astrologer, and we were talking about a bunch of charts that just got triggered in the last 48 hours. Amazingly, there's Justin's right there. I was looking at that. We'll get to that in a second. But where the hell did my chat window go? There it is. There it is. I shared that. This has to go back to the way it was, and I need to find my windows for this unprepared. It's the beginning of the year. Do I have my shit together? Am I prepared? Am I prepared for this year? Am I prepared for 2025? I mean, for me personally, I did 12 rising sign videos. I did a 3-hour live stream last week on New Year's. I don't know what the hell that was about. Those phone calls that I had were amazing. At the same time, I looked at it afterwards and I was highly critical of myself. I'm like, okay, I need to prepare myself for other things this year. I need to get it together, but I need to give myself a break in getting it together. Does that make sense? So you get to do that. So Isha, yes. And yes, Astro Stephanie, algorithm. Sarah Metlin, see you. How about those in Mars returns? Oh, I'm sure you're there. You're going to tell us here in the next couple months how it goes, so on and so forth. We got some Cancer Risings in here. I'm seeing this in chat right here. Okay, so we'll look at Trudeau's chart in a second real quick. But yeah, okay, well, why don't we just jump into that? We're just going to jump into this thing. Are we going to, whoa. You see somebody else's chart I'm pulling up over there. I wonder why I'm pulling up that person's chart. I mean, what the hell does that mean? What does he ever mean? Just service to the Geminis, but we learn from those who disservice Geminis. Yeah, so basically we are looking at a, what am I doing here? You're not seeing what I'm doing. We're going to go back to a place. We're going to go back to a place here. And it's this particular chart. This has to do with December 6th of 2024. This was the day that Mars went retrograde in Leo. Where is my presentation little thingy? Present. Wait. Well, you can't. Present. Yeah, that's what I want. And I want my little thingy right here. So we can see here Mars at 6 degrees. So we know from 0 to 6 degrees, you're affected by this. You kind of get, you don't really get a break. The Leos have something here, but you sort of do, because today is the day that, Mars went bad. Now let's make a note of something else here. And I'm going to do this the hard way. Here is today's current transits. I'm starting this. I almost tried to start this during a Cancer ascendant of Mars, but that would have been 20 minutes ago, and I truly was not prepared because I decided in traffic on the way here to do this. But you will see here today that Here's Mars at 29 degrees. At earlier this morning at 2:44 a.m. Pacific, Mars went back into Cancer. Okay, so saying that, hi Lucifer in chat. What's up, Denise? Denise is up late in the UK. I could trust you on that one, guaranteed. I was wondering about my people here. And I'm also saying hi to Lily, 899. Good to see you. And Lucifer, I think, hey, Yelena is also in the chat too. What's up? Another super chat. Thanks. I saw the second one, Canada Dry. Thank you. It's the beginning of the year, isn't it? So yeah, let's check this out. So basically, here is the place of 29 degrees. Now, Mars is going to go backwards all the way until 17 degrees Cancer. Okay, so we're going to do that next chart here. And it's on February 23rd, right here at 17 degrees, that Mars will station forward. So basically, we're saying 16, 17 degrees to 29 degrees Cancer or Cardinal, that this is the shadow. This is the place that Mars is going to transverse back over. Should we actually use the word transverse? He will, Mars will grumpily, argumentatively, in Cancer, pissed off and fuming emotionally, story or not, blowing up at moments, from rosy anger cheeks to puddles of tears, or maybe both at the same time, will go over from 29 all the way back to 17. Now, let's do this the hard way. I'm going to go to the transit here, and let's go back. Let's go back to this period of time that I'm going to pick a time. Oh, did I get lucky here? I did. I got lucky just by going back. And here we could see around in October here, October 6th is when Mars hit the 16, 17 degree mark. Here it's October 6th. Let's just say it's the first week of October. And then you could see here from this time on all the way until it goes into Leo. So I'll go by the week here in these charts. Here's the next week at 21 at the bottom. You see it. Now, remember something here. We'll get there. And here we have October 20th here. Now Mars is at 24 degrees. Let's just move Mars. Oh, see here. Let's make a note here that this was an important situation going on here in that week of October 23rd, because you see Mars and the moon had a conjunction, and they're applying to this Pluto story, this first Pluto or Mars-Pluto opposition. We had the second one here last week, okay? Remember this. So saying that, let's keep going. Just to do a quick overview, like it's really quick on these live streams. And then we will get to here where we had Mars applying to a 29th, and the 30th Halloween was the first Mars-Pluto opposition on November, at end of the month, beginning of November. And then you see right here that it leaves on the 4th there and goes into Leo. So we're looking at a month of time pretty much from October to November, where Mars went over these degrees from 17 to 29, and what it's about to do from now, January 6th to February-ish, whatever we did, the 23rd, let's call it up. Well, I had it. Well, no, I had it right there. Right? No, I had it in a different way. I could do it again. It's right there, Nicholas. You have the palettes. You have the power, even when you're not prepared. So here is the 23rd at 17 degrees. You know what's cool? I'll say a cool part of this is, if you're looking at the 23rd and we're hitting this area here, we're getting in the eclipse part of the land there now, but when we get to the end of February and going into March, and it's interesting here because the day that it stations, you can see Venus is moving ahead. It's really slowing down. In Aries, you see we're going to get to the nodal part here this week. Saturn here is at 20, but you see Mercury and Mars have this trine that happens the day of Mars moving forward. There is a window coming up there and I think Mars gets to work in many different ways here. There is the current retrograde that's going to happen through Cancer, okay? There is, once it leaves and moves forward, it's going to re-hit all the Pisces planets, Saturn and Neptune for sure, and the nodes in the sense, but gets to do with Mercury several times, okay? And it's later down the line. feel like I'm loud tonight on this mic. It's later on down the line that when Jupiter goes into Cancer this summertime, it's going to go eventually in that year over the degrees from 0 to 29, but especially farther down in the transit is going to go over the degrees of 17 and 29 Cancer. And I'm telling you, if you work the transit, it's not going to be perfect, but if you're affected by this Mars transit, you can work it later on when Jupiter goes into Cancer. It will pay off for you, but you cannot ignore what needs to be uprooted emotionally or in the Cancer part of your chart, and you have to deal. So me, you know me, I'm Mr. Saturnian talk here, but again, there's actually some help down the line. It's not, I'm feeling it. Now, the Venus retrograde story, I am maybe of a rare astrologer that is not poo-pooing on the transit, but I'm being real about it because it's got 3 hits with Saturn coming up in a concentrated period of time. It's really good in the end. Anyway, those are my thoughts, so on and so forth. Okay, so saying that, let me get myself together here while I look at chat. Hi, Karen Locker. 2 streams in a week. Yeah, I used to be like this all the time. Then I kept losing viewers because I would just randomly go live, and they wanted me to do well whatever. That's a story. That's a way in a story that from the past. A story from the past. A story from the past. I mean, it's true about the sign of Cancer. I mean, we're dealing with the home and family, but really, inherently, generally, it's dealing with the past. The root, in the sense of feeling. The ancestry of the story, the past. The memories. The memories. Of the past. A lot of times, if one doesn't go into the past or the memory, we passed over it, and some might put the memories, and let's just think about the type of memories or the past, where they're not of the easy narrative, and we put them somewhere. This is what we do because we have to move forward. Some of us carry the memories constantly on ourselves or in our bodies. We all do this. And we don't finish a story. So we keep going, but the memories come up. Or the memories that have been, in some cases, suppressed, they start to come up, not just by your choice, by the world's choice, by life choices. Or if one, I think, really works a Mars in Cancer retrograde, they choose. They choose, whether they like it or not, to go back. So literally, we go back to October to November of last year, but a lot of times, some of these stories that happen in transits that happen in Cancer really will actually go back to other things. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're a Capricorn Rising that is a certain thing, and you got the past coming up in all types of relating stuff, right? So let's just say that. Maybe you're a Capricorn Rising that's doing that. So again, it's about the past. Now, a lot of times we do these contemplations or these movements through places of safety and security, Cancer stuff, in the mind, in the body, and where do you live or where you used to live. I mean, think about it sometimes too, like you used to live somewhere, like in a certain town, like, somebody goes, I'm living in this part of town. I go, I used to live over there. I was back in whatever, and I was living with so-and-so. And remember that? Like, oh yeah, Nicholas, yeah, I thought you were going to get married. And it's like, dude, married? Anyway, but that's the past. So I for anybody, it's like the sense of what home is or home was, that kind of thing. Now, where in the chart these kinds of memories or ways of working through emotional stories, whether they've been fulfilled or not, or gone through and processed or not, is thing. But also, too, let's think about what Mars does. It cuts and it severs, it inflames. And not only that, in a sign like Cancer, it also protects and can, like a mom would protect her family on a survival mode. And you never want to mess with somebody like a mom in that situation, right? These scenarios, all types of ways that this could work, in the sense it doesn't feel like it's working. But I think the biggest common denominator here is the past in some sort of way, that the memories or where one comes from, right? So saying that, maybe in chat, you will help me. I will do the best that I can here with the worst handwriting. And, let's see if I can do this. So let's just say if you're an Aries rising, I'm going to go slow here and see if I can do this correctly. If you're an Aries rising, where does this happen in your chart? I know where this happens, okay? I know where this happens. You just, I'm testing you in the chart or in the chat. I'm testing you in the chat. Okay, so where does this happen, Aries rising? This should be an easy one. This happens in your 4th house. And yes, this place is of the home. This is of the past. This is your roots and foundations. We'll just say roots. Okay. And I'm just trying to think of one word things. Home. These are the easy ones. Family. But let's concentrate on roots, okay? So this happens in your 4th house. This is where the review is happening now. Any of you who are cardinal rising signs, you might as well just say that this hits your 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th houses if you know astrology. And if you don't, it pretty much is hitting the foundations of your chart. Who you are in the world as an Aries rising, your Mars ruled, and then your home, and then your relationship life, all relationships, and your career world, how you stand out in your reputation there. So Mars is kind of really hitting all these places, which is a lot. That's what's going on, especially if you're an Aries rising. This is huge. And I think for Aries risings, you've already done a shit ton of Mars work here for the last year and a half with the eclipses. And so I think this is a review, a foundational process of what home and family means to you and all that, but where you come from. But I think you're at a point here where I think you might be able to wield this retrograde in a certain way that is beneficial, because you've been trying to push and initiate a new you in the world for the last year and a half. So here, it could feel out of sorts for you, but at the same time, I almost feel like it's the last step. You do this, and then here comes the last eclipse in Aries that's going to happen in March. You're kind of shooting out of the stratosphere. Do you have to deal with Saturn and Neptune hitting your sign? You do, but you can come in there with the right tools and, feel, what's the word? You feel prepared for the situation. So those are my quick thoughts on theirs, okay? So I know chat in here, you all are doing a thing. I want to say hi to astrologer Mackenzie, who in the chat says, I got the cleaning bug today and cleaned out a bunch of drawers. Took twice as long because I was reminiscing. Oh, that's a really good example. That's a perfect example, astrologer Mackenzie. And by the way, you guys out there watching, I really like what astrologer Mackenzie's doing on their Instagram channel or on their profile. I think it's AstroMac Mackenzie. I think that's what you call yourselves. Go give a follow over there from the man with the yellow hat and the small box in the corner of your screen. Go give Mackenzie there a follow. All right. So anyway, so saying that, that's a quick one. Aries rising, this is where the review is happening. This is where the tears might flow. This is where the reworking happens in the memory. Now, again, Aries, be careful how you wield Mars. This is not, we want you to be in the world, but if you're all sensitive and your Chiron and Aries that's transiting your sign right now is messing with you, well, you just be good. Learn the lessons of the last year of doing your Mars, okay? So what I'm going to tell everyone to do in this stream who's affected by this, Aries rising, We want you to, where is my pencil? Oh, there we go. We want you to sweat. I want you to work out. I want you to do something like that. Sweat it out physically or at home, but sweat out the memory really in your mind, if that's what it is, how you do this. I want you to just get it out. We don't want to wield, no stabbing, okay? I can't believe I'm writing it this way. Just don't be good with the sword when you're all sensitive. You're not thinking, you're just doing. We want to think about it a little bit and go backwards. It's all about pacing here with this one. Okay, that's enough from my mind. You guys in chat, why is my chat? It's not, oh man, it's crashing on me. I got everything crashing on me. Why? Why is this happening? I hope I'm still streaming. Okay, Nicholas, you guys got to hang on with me here because I hope they picked that thumbnail. Yeah, there I am. And let's go. Okay, so I see that. Steffi G, what's up in chat? Hi. Okay, I got to get my things because I'm using a new system here and things are they're crashing on me. All right, so let's go to the next sign. I can't turn into a 2-hour fucking stream. So look at me. I'm using this pencil. I'm going to delete. Next, we're going to go Taurus Rising. I'm going to try. I got to do this faster. So my beautiful Venus-ruled people. Chat, tell me, throw some keywords. Where is this happening? I can't wait. I'm going to do it because I already know. It's your third house. Short journeys, your neighbor, your quick thinking mind. And well, I don't know if you have a quick thinking mind depending on where your Mercury is, but we want to pay attention here because basically, it's what's around you. It could be brother or sister, but there's a review here and some story, and maybe you need to speak and share emotionally to your immediate surroundings. Is that what the hell did I just say? I just coming up with this shit around to your surroundings. I'll put it that way. From an old school way, we want to pay attention here because interestingly enough, if you're a Taurus rising and let's say your moon was in the third, that's a really interesting, cool thing in the chart. But in one way, Taurus rising, your rising sign Earth has a natural sextile to Cancer in the chart. So we want to use your Earth and your Earth, Venus ruled with Mars in Cancer. Okay. And there is an opportunity here that has to do with your immediate surroundings. You could take a look at your dream. You could do dream work with this type of stuff, to be honest. But siblings, neighbors, this is the area that it happens. I must keep going. Yeah, my stream might have dropped. You'll let me know. Hi, Scorpio Muse in chat. What's up? I must keep going. Let's go. Got to bust through these. I'm doing the crazy fast way of doing this. Delete. All right. And I just, this yellow, it's like this yellow hat. Why did I do this? Why did I pick the yellow hat tonight? Okay. So let's go. Who's next? Gemini Risings. Just for those watching this, we're talking about the Mars in Cancer retrograde transit. Okay, that's RX. And where is this happening, Gemini Risings? Second house. Money. Cash, dollars, money. Resource creation. Okay? This is where it's happening, this retrograde. You have a massive review going on there. Could be, in one way, your emotional tie-in to resource creation and money. It's always kind of a weird thing for a Gemini rising who's going out into the world as a Gemini rising, and then they got to deal with emotional stuff. So depending on where one's Mercury is as a Gemini rising, this really determines how you do this. But and actually these are for every single one I'm going to do. Your moon is big factor in all, whatever rising sign and whatever house that you have. The moon is a major factor in the chart to help you deal with this or understand it or move through the emotional container of what your moon is. So resource creation, cash, money, wealth, etc. Sometimes we're dealing with the possibilities, okay, of all this, and we're reviewing this. But it might be the way your attachment to financial means or what that means, or maybe you hate it. Maybe it's a, what do they call it? Scarcity mentality that sometimes happens. And it's funny with Cancer, because sometimes there is a hoarding feeling of home because you don't want to lose something. So you're going to keep everything with home because it creates safety. But that all depends on where that goes. Does it really give safety? Maybe it gave safety a long time ago and it doesn't anymore. Then it becomes a metaphorical like hoarding of certain story, or an afraid of being successful with cash. Listen, I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm not saying you do this. You have to gauge this, but Mars is coming in there. It could be that, you need to cut some expenses. Okay? Mars cuts. Makes sense? That's a way to look at it. Hi, chat. I'm watching you when I can. Sarah Metland says, second house, the power you possess. That's an interesting way. I like that. Keep saying stuff in chat if you want. Sherry Berry, I like your name, has a 21 Cancer Rising. Welcome to your life for the next 2 months. Anyway, so saying that, let's do that. You'll be okay. Go clean the fridge. That's another good thing. So, all right, let's keep going. I wasn't planning on doing this one like this today because I was like, I just should type it out. I had no time. So let's keep going. We're going. Hey, look at here. We're going to the. Do we even talk about the Cancer Rising? Do you think they're affected by this? Did I do this correctly? I did. I can't. Yeah, I did. So Cancer Risings, oh shit. You are on stage. This is your first house. Listen, your energy. Okay? Your vitality. Huge. Rest up. Are you noticing there's certain things with your body? You're just not feeling slow? I mean, a lot of people are coming out because they went carbohydrate heavy on the holidays for some of you. But in general, it's like, how much energy are you actually maybe put into a situation, from the past, So wait a second. I got to do something here. I just noticed something. There. Better now? No. Just right, I think. No. This is like Goldilocks. Okay, so energy, vitality, your body, inflammation, energy suck, Mars going backwards. Why? Go take a look at where the moon is in your chart to help you delineate this and to help you remediate the situation. Again, the rising sign, and I say this to my clients, I use this with my clients sometimes. So I'm wearing these glasses and I'm looking through a lens here, and the lens I'm looking through is my rising sign. So for me, I'm Taurus Rising. I'm looking through the world through the visions of chocolate and sensuality and laziness. Okay, so that's what and what else? Sorry. This is a Mercury Neptune stream. I have to remember I could go off on tangents. So Cancer Risings, you're viewing the world through a Cancer lens. All the rising signs do is one way to do it. It's your actual physical body, how people are seeing you too, how the world sees you. It's basic ways of rising sign talk. We want to understand that the self and the body vitality is going out into the world. When Mars is going backwards, it's that could be go inwards. Now, Cancer Rising can have maybe a tendency to do this. Depends on where the moon is in the chart, but we're going inwards. Now, we want to pay attention to the 4th, 7th, and 10th houses. We'll just put career, relationships, well, we'll just say that, home, as always. These are all tied into the transit for you. Do me a favor, Cancer risings. You can watch the stream or afterwards. I want you to write down what gives you a sense of safety and security, and if that brings happiness to you. Now, I think part of this has to do with how you relate to the world, but it might show up in some relationships. I have some Cancer risings out there that I know that have been. Have you ever been around somebody who's got Cancer planets in their chart, and they can get pushy on you when there's something that they need or they want you to do, or that would give that sense of safety and security? And sometimes you have Cancer people in your life that want you to force yourself to confront an emotional thing that you are ignoring. This is another person. It will do it. It will do it in a loving way. It will do it in a tough mama way. There'll be a bunch of, this could work in many different ways. Regardless, I want the Cancer risings to pay attention to these emotional situations. Do they add vitality to your life, or do they suck you dry? Are you over this? Are you in the same pain cave narrative and stuck in an emotional story that does not move? Well, this is the chance in this transit to actually get rid of it, purge it, push it up to the surface for the conversations to happen, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's at home, whatever, or even with yourself, how I started this beginning of the stream, many different ways. It happens everywhere because you're a Cancer rising, pretty much. Now, I'm not going to say sorry for that, but I am going to tell you and remind you, okay, that Jupiter will hit your sign in June. And I think this is huge. And it's in the summertime. We're actually going to have a Jupiter-Venus conjunction that's going to happen in Cancer. And that is your beacon. That is your place. So for all the trudging that you're going to do with yourself when it comes to these things, know that there's something waiting for you down the line. So go deep, do what you got to do. Use your tools to emotionally help and move stories along in your life and other people's lives. One more thing. You can't force anybody to do anything else. You can say something and speak your, expel your truth and put your feelings on the line and be truthful. But you can't expect anybody else to do the same, or to do it your way, or for them to change. I'm sorry, let's just get it straight. And the situation sometimes that we create emotional tie-ins with people in situations where whether one notices it or not, will bring them along a story, and that person might be in the story, but then they realize they don't want to be in the story. As a matter of fact, they're in their own independent, autonomous, emotional container, and you are too. So this is where enmeshment and intertwinement emotionally happens. We don't want that to happen in the dark, unbalanced way. We like it in the loving way. We don't want it where it brings guilt and where your emotions leak into other situations, or again, it happens with somebody else as representative where they're tied into you and you are not autonomously in your own emotional place that's healthy, that they leak in and they're sucking you dry. So again, you have to gauge this for yourself in the situations of your life. Slow down, use whatever tools you can to emotionally regulate yourself. Think about the food and nutrition that's going in your body, because this affects your vitality too. I've said enough. And who knows what the chat's saying? Who knows what the chat's saying? Cancer rising, sensitive people, it all depends on where your moon is. I got M in chat that says, Cancer, end of the first, a boss, B, we know what they're saying. Mars at my second house right now, was in the ER, push for answers, and my Mercury, Jupiter, and Leo's. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's intense. That is. All right, so saying that, let's go to the next one. Before I do this, because Cancer rising, you're going to get bonus tonight. I'm going to write a word here. Maybe two. There's the word hot. Okay. Then we'll put warm. cold. Okay? Let's just pretend that these are this is a temperature dial, like a heater in a house. So let's just say that that this is a panel and there is a button that you pressed along here. And you gauge from Cancer Rising what I told you where you are emotionally right now, like making this up on the fly, and you push the button, and then or you got to pick the button that you want. But if you had your way, and what we learned the next 2 months with this transit is how to regulate all these temperatures at the right time, okay? So basically with the moods that move going there and the emotions that swing forward in a water sign along with the moon, we're going to be paying attention to the moon, especially the next till February 23rd and beyond, by the way, April 17th. April 17th, by the way, is when Mars leaves back into Leo, okay? And ingresses back in there, okay? Into this... What the hell, Nicholas? Why? There we go. Into Leo is April 17th. So you gauge the button that you're at right now, and then you figure out which button that's going to work for you. Maybe some of you are like disconnected and it's cold. Maybe you need to get warm. Maybe we want to find a comfort space for you. Makes sense? I can't believe I just did it that way. Scorpio 6 Astrology says, I'm a Cancer Rising. I want to kick everyone out of my story right now. Go ahead. You could. I mean, there's that choice. But then again, it isn't that easy, isn't it? And that is the real story, isn't it? It just doesn't work that way. But that's if someone's feeling that, they have to feel it. That's the thing. I think some people in the Mars transit are going to learn how to feel. Me included, maybe, because I think as Aquarius, I only got one emotion left. Leo Rising. You're like, what? What? It's my 12th house. Rehab. In good ways. We want to rehab. We want to move through sorrow. If it's there, and sadness. We want to explore this place and move through it. And it's hard because maybe he's not feeling that, but there's something else. Could be something else, right? We want to pay attention also too, because what's another way of saying this? You can help me out in chat too. I'm going to get the chat too because I'm seeing some Eve Alta in chat. What's up? I see super chats coming in. Uki. Uki. Happy New Year to you. I saw your post. Beautiful post, my friend. And I want to say hi. I can't. Let's do this right now. We have basically Halverson. Thank you for the super chat. Freaking out about my Mars-Saturn opposition happening this week. Yeah, I don't blame you for freaking out. That's good. Remember, Mars-Saturn, if you don't... You're forced in this situation, you might have to force back. If not, disappear for a while, will you? What's up? Just want to say hi to people in chat really quick. Let's get back to this thing because I got to blaze through this. Move through the shadows, 12th house. We're dealing with illness sometimes here. Not saying you got a major one. Could be somebody else. We're basically recycling. We're going to recycle. Look to your attic or basement. Now, literally, or look to the moon in your chart to help you do this stuff. Rehab. It's like a cave. I can see here, because you're Leo Risings, you're really affected by this because part of the Mars transit happened in your sign. We want to regenerate the sun, basically, by taking care of Mars. Later on April 17th, April 18th, when Mars goes into Leo, you get to start to move forward a little bit. And there's a couple other things that are going to happen to you too, because when Neptune and Saturn come into the fire signs of Aries here, March 30th and May 24th, we get that little bit of a break. You're deeply going to be affected by these other transits and fire signs. Must keep going. How fast can I do this? Where am I? We got to go faster. something Virgo Rising might not like or like. I mean, if the machine is moving fast the way it should. I mean, anyway. Okay, so 11th house. Who are your friends? Why? 11th house. Friends. Patrons. Who supports your dreams? My pen doesn't want to work. Who supports your dreams and aspirations? Eventually, we want to be at the top of the mountain. So I think here from a Earth sextile water perspective, not only do we want to look for your moon and how it functions and to point it to the 11th, but we also want to use Mercury in this story to help communicate this, to help parse out the story, to help detail. So it's Mercury with the details, moon, emotions. They say Virgo risings or Virgos are computer brains, but they're emotional too. And we want to put these things together. And then we want to bring them here. And we're like, who does support my hopes, wishes, and dreams? What communities have I been involved in, and are they working or not? And maybe I've lost some friends there, or I will, or I have already, or I have to push them out the door. And there might be some conversations or movements that happen that get to the root of things, Mars and Cancer, to help move this story along. That's my quick off the top of my head version of this. So Jendi says isolation. I think I'm looking at chat. They're probably talking about 12th house. That's definitely a 12th house thing for sure. So saying that, okay, let's get back to my thing. I must keep going. Basically, this is some basic 101 ways, and I'll get better at the poetics of it, but that's why I do this stuff live, is because I'm challenging myself that way to do it live. And as some of you know, speaking of, Libra risings, do we just skip them? I always have to play with my Libra risings. I always got to fuck with them. Libra risings, huge moment here. Huge for you. 10th house, career and reputation. Okay, social, you're like status. Okay, career. Now, I think you've already been doing this. You've had massive eclipses happening to you. The South Node eclipses have been clearing out something in your life for the last year and a half. You are a little bit left to do this. And so I think it's all tied in as with any cardinal signs that you're going to look at yourself in all this. Family, home. We said career. And then, as always with y'all, you just can't get away from it. Relationship. Jeez. I mean, can you just be alone for a while? Anyway. So saying that, we want to pay attention to this. And sometimes things get eliminated in this place. You know, so if Mars is moving backwards here in your 10th house of career, some of the achievements that you've wanted to have, I think you might go under review. Remember, retrograde, for everybody, you can think of all the signs, redefine. Okay, review. We're going to go back to October 1st to November. We'll just say 3rd. Pretty much most of this time of 2024 was during your birthday. And you just with some eclipses. So again, we want to take a look at this area of the chart. Listen, what drives you in your career and stuff and what you want to achieve and all that is not only your heart in the game, but where are you emotionally with it? Like, does it give you a sense of safety? Is it feel secure up there? And if it doesn't, something needs to be reviewed, cut out, or sought after eventually. That's my quickie. Goodbye, Libra Rising. I'm looking at chat while I do this, and it's where am I in the stream? Oh shit, I gotta keep going. This is a way too long because I gotta talk about the rest of the transits. I went this way, didn't I? Scorpio Risings, you are definitely involved in this one because you are Mars ruled. And we are going to look at this place, the ninth house. I'm gonna keep it real simple. The truth. Your first house is trine this ninth house. You're going to review the truth. Review your spiritual code. That's all I'm going to say to you. You're a Scorpio moon. Be effing nice. You're a Scorpio moon. Stop holding grudges from the past, the memories of the past type of shit, okay? Just shout out to my Scorpio moons. Let go of that stuff. Anyway, so we want to take a look at this place. Sometimes people, though, maybe they do book it's a journey, a long journey. Ninth house is long journeys, right? But one thing is you got an inside line to probing and going deep emotionally. And so I think you also got an inside line in how to cut things out of your life when they know they affect your survival. Where do you stand when it comes to your truth, your code, your ethics? Something needs to go there. By the way, my most watched, I think, rising sign video for the year is the Scorpio ones. There's triple the amount of the other ones. I have no one watching my videos. I just did it. By the way, I'm going to shout out to Chris Brennan out there. I don't even know if you're watching right now. You got me mixed up in the scheme to to do 12 rising sign videos. It took you a year to convince me to do it. I did it. I'm glad I did. Thanks, Chris, for the bump, okay? I just want to give a shout out to Chris because he nudged me a little bit, and I was going to do it, but too tired. I pulled it off. Go watch the videos. So saying that, thanks, Chris. Speaking of Scorpios, anyway. All right, so let's keep going. And I got to go fast. Oh, I'm Sag Rising. Then I'm going to go for the rest of the transits of this week really quick. It's going to be a 2-hour stream. I don't want to chapter mark the damn thing. All right. 8th house. Listen. Sometimes you have to gauge who are you tied into. We're dealing with like shared resources here. Okay? This is a toughie actually. Because you've been going through the Mercury retrograde. We're at the last day of it pretty much today. I'll get to Mercury and Capricorn here in a second. But you're at the last of it here. I think there's a story going on here, and I think you need to be direct with people about where you stand with how you're in shared resources, or you got to go talk to the bank. You got to deal with taxes and the IRS. I don't know. But the other part of the 8th house deals with fears, actually. I mean, does a Sag rising Jupiter ruled person fear? I bet you they do these days. As a matter of fact, because Jupiter's retrograde in Sag, going through the relationship house, they got a lot going on. As a matter of fact, I think Sag risings have a relationship situation or many different kinds that's actually tied in to resources and cash that are tied in with other people, and they have a dilemma they've been dealing with for the last several months. Now, saying that, pay attention to it. We want to deal with shared resources. Sometimes they call it gains from other people. The other part of this, and the way to do it, is definitely ritual, because 8th house that is a weird way, is dealing with the occult matters. People in chat, I know that you can add to this if you want. And thanks, people in chat. Thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate it. I'm not doing the best job here with the 8th house. Sometimes, though, we deal with loss. And that's a key word here. I just don't know in which way. You have to gauge that for yourself. Again, Sag rising, where is the moon in your chart? It's going to help you. All right, at least to understand this. Keep going, Nicholas. For this non-prepared video. Where are we next? Do we just skip Capricorn? Cap Risings. Oh, shit. 7th house, man. Wow. Go watch my video, Cap Risings, for the year. I spoke a lot about this. Anyway, big. We know that we're dealing with partnerships here of all kinds. And I think it's a massive theme this year for you. In general, not just this transit. Jupiter's coming your way, and Saturn and Neptune are going to be in Aries. They're going to tie in a partnership thing. There's maybe partnerships coming and going. Okay, so for me, we want to balance your Saturn and your moon in your chart, because your moon is your 7th and your Capricorn rules here, your rising sign. We need to understand the relationship between the two in your chart and in your life. And you need to see where things are playing out, where they're on balance. The other part of this is, this is going to sound really weird, but drink water. This is all of you. This is including me here in a second. I'm serious about this. Don't ask me why. Just drink water, be by water, go in water. Saturnian rule people, depending on where they are, will ignore water situations or emotional content and run away or toughen up or shed no tears. We want to shed the tears. And if it's not just that, maybe it's joy and happiness. Maybe it's all different types of emotional content, but we need to explore this. We need to go there. And I think it's going to be reflected for sure in your sense with the mirror, the other, the world, the relationships. Just which ones? All of them? Sometimes, though, with the 7th house, which is interesting here, it's very contentious. It can be filled with contentions. Old school is hidden enemies, by the way. I think that's... Am I right by this? I think I am. No. That's 12th. It's open in 7th. That's what it is. You are the other person where everything... Whoa. I just lost my screen. You can't see that. But you're the other person where we're looking at 7th house of partnerships, you in general in the world, home, and career. It's all in play for you as a cardinal sign. Oh shit, wait a second. There you go. Drink water. Don't hide from the water. Don't hide from here. Go there. All right. You'll be all right, Cap Rising. Show some... For some of you, not all you Cap Risings. It's okay, man. It's okay to cry. It's okay to... the cool thing is you got such a tie-in to Cancer because the opposite sign, you both want safety and security and stuff. You just do it in different ways. That's all. But you are tied into each other. You're tied in this way. That's why I'm saying look to your Saturn and look to your moon and see how they relate with each other and even with those in your life. Okay? So... it's all good. Cool thing is, let me take a break here. The cool thing is, speaking of this, Mercury goes in to Capricorn. Let's see, is that the way? No, that's not the way. I'll just put, Mercury goes into Capricorn. When does it happen? It happens Wednesday, January 8th. At 2:29 a.m. Pacific. I think this is an amazing transit for the most part. The reason is, and I'm saying this to you Capricorn Risings, but everybody, is we actually get to start to put form to the Mercury retrograde that happened. The Mercury RX in Sag retrograde that happened. And so the visions of all this and all the reworking that we did, we get to rework this. I'm really digging. I've been waiting for Mercury. I know many people are sick of the Mercury Sag. Now you knew what I was talking about. You watch my damn videos for the last 3 months. And I had some Sag people come into my world on my DMs, and they were like, you always dissing. I'm like, well, it's because you're always dissing. Because you go to a party, and the Sag or the Sag Rising, they're always with the biggest smart-alecky comments. Aries is bringing up the rear, but you think it's the Gemini. Just Gemini doesn't do it per se. They could be sarcastic, but it's more of a trickster thing. The Sag, it's just sometimes you need to shut your traps. I think you basically had your traps shut here for whatever reasons, and I think it's good to have Saturn and Jupiter, the story that's been happening, to now focus it in. Now Mercury's starting to move fast out of the retrograde in the Capricorn, and you Sag Risings, I mean, you get this affects your money, cash flow in a great way. But in general, I like this movement of Mercury. Enjoy this Mercury and Capricorn transit, because later down the line, we're going to do a Mercury and Aries back in the Pisces retrograde that's going to be conflicting. So, and we'll touch upon a little bit of the Mercury and Sag story, because when Mercury goes into the later degrees of Pisces retrograde, it's at the squaring point. It's like the next chapter. Set yourself up with Mercury and Capricorn. We're practical. We got all our numbers in order. We play by the rules. We cross the T's and dot the I's, or we cross the I's or dot the T's. I don't know. You feel what I'm saying here. We want to be real and truthful and condensed and crystallized in our conversations. And we take everything that we've learned from the retrograde and Sag, and fueled by a Jupiter and Gemini that's going backwards, all out of sorts. So crystallization and form and structure and habitual way of doing things in a professional manner. It's not wildly emotional. It's just, this is it. This is what I want. This is what I need. What about you? It's like, we want this. Enjoy the transit. I think people here might have a new affinity, to love a Capricorn transit, especially after this Mercury and Sag retrograde. And if you've ever been dissing on Capricorns and stuff, you're going to really appreciate them now. Hopefully you get to that place, okay? I will do something here. Before I get to the rest, I need to finish. I have a couple more to do, and then we're going to breeze through it. I snuck in that one. I snuck in the Mercury transit there, and I'm going to get to chat because I see what people are doing in there, and I need to thank some people. So, we'll get to that too. We'll get to that. All right, I'm looking over at my chat right now. Apologize because we go back to this. You're going to tell me in chat, I did Capricorn Rising, right? Aquarius weirdos. Saturnian ruled Aquarius weirdos. Habits. How you serve. This is a tough one, I think, for Aquarius risings. I think this particular Mars transit, I think, is really difficult. And we must... And it has such an incredible potential outcome, actually. And I think here you have to review, and I think you could do this because you're Saturnian manner, but you're fixed and stubborn, so you need to lock down, and you need to open yourself up and get out of your brain, okay? We're looking to Saturn, where Saturn is to help you this. We're looking to the moon to see to where to help you on this. But you need to get into and rework just the way you move through your emotional processes with yourself, and to see how it affects your body too, but also like how it serves the day, like how you serve your day. And is it completely computer oriented, ones and zeros types of structure, or do you allow yourself in the service of you for the day? Do you allow yourself the spaces to come from out of your head way of living, cold and dry ways of living? And can you get into a steamy place? This is really weird that I'm saying it this way. Can you get steamy? Can you get steamy and allow steam to come in to your daily activities? So there's a reworking here. Something in your daily activity realm needs to go and to be purged and to be cut out. And I'm saying steamy because that's what happens. I think a good way to push things out is, I said sweat for Aries risings. Here I'm using steam because we're talking about air and fire. I don't know what the hell I'm saying right now, but I think you get what I'm saying. Hopefully, we want to get steamy and allow steamy emotional content to come in your life. Now, you would think I'd be talking about a fifth house thing by saying that kind of steamy. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's an afternoon delight that brings you back into your core chakras. I don't know. But we want to review your service to yourself and to your work. But this is a more modern way of doing it. But we kind of our daily tasks. And we also want to pay attention to this. And I won't even say it out loud. We want to pay attention to that and not let that happen. And you can't see what I'm writing, but there it is, steamy. Dale in chat says, I've been going to hot yoga. That's a good one by the way, for the Cap Rising, Saturnian rule, like the people. That's a good one. All right, I'll be done. Such a basic stream, but I'm doing this on purpose. I'm learning. You're learning with me. Pisces. Oh shit. What a year you have ahead of you. And right now, damn, it is incredible. It is an incredible run that you're doing here. Listen, it's your sex life. Sex life, question mark? I'm having fun with this one, but how do you pleasure? No, that's not the way to say it, Nicholas. Even though you all serve sometimes, it's the way you do. You sacrifice. Stop with the sacrificing. I understand it, but let me switch this around in my head. What gives you pleasure? No. Reviewing. Pleasure. Principle. Now we have a first house, Pisces Rising, trine, harmonious 120-degree relationship with your fifth house right here. So it's a water world, that is for sure. And I want you to creativity, okay? This is what we do. I think you're used to moving through emotional waters. I think it's about identification, as in we don't want to lose one's self. Don't do that. And if you have, you go back to yourself, okay? Saying that, sometimes we can have people come into our fifth house that are sharing in the creation of pleasures in our life and deplete it or suck it dry, or it's going nowhere, and there's a little bit of a frustration that happens there, and we need to turn that around somehow. I, in particular, think this is the weirdest thing, but can you see? No, I'm there on the screen, and let me do this. Let me get this correct. I'm going to take this part out of this and write two words. Art therapy. God damn it, Nicholas. That's where you go. We don't want to run away, and we don't want to lose ourselves in other emotional situations that are not ours, and it will affect one's creativity. And I think here with this, we at times we want containers and we want definition, but at the same time, we don't want it to be cold and abrasive, but we want it to be still having a watery flow. And that's why I said art therapy. Don't ask me why I'm saying that. I don't know why I say things like that. And there is a live stream for all 12 rising signs. What the hell was that? Do me a favor. Go to your rising sign videos for the year. I talk about a bunch of this stuff for each rising sign in all that. And I might have said it better. Who the hell knows what I did? But it's all up there for people to see. And let's go to here. I want to Canada dry through. Let me go all the way back up here. So, Blue Lotus, hi, with the first super chat. I see you here in chat. Thank you, Blue Lotus. Great name. Thank you for the support here on the channel and helping my chat goal here. I said thank you to Halverson. Alex D, I see is up in here. Dale Dobson. Steffi G, thank you. Number one fan with a pear jumping, a green pear that has a headband. And thanks, Steffi G. Tina Reynolds is in here. Karen. Oh, there you are, Steffi. Oh, so for the gold. Oh, I see. Oh, you didn't have to do that, Steffi G. You give me two. But yeah. Thank you. Much love from this Cap Rising. You're Cap Rising? No wonder, because on your streams, the way you're coming in with these astrological takes and statements, which are really good, by the way, you got that way. And I catch this right. Right on, Steffi G. Good. I hope Mercury treats you right on the transit here. I see a bunch of Cap Risings here. Yelena, thank you for a super chat. Thanks for contributing. First on the stream. Cheers. Thanks. Canada Dry with another one. Thanks for the stream. We are in the middle of a winter storm, so it's keeping you warm. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of you. There's many people in certain places who are dealing with cold and winter. Yeah, stay warm, my friend. Jendi, all right. Mars turns direct. We talked about the Mercury in Capricorn thing. Mercury will square the nodes on Wednesday the 8th. We wanted to say that. We also want to mention the moon going into Gemini here on Thursday the 9th, which is going to be conjunct Jupiter. And then let's point out something here. We will go here as I'm moving along here. We were going to go to the 11th, to a very important day of the week and of the year. And that is because that is the day that the North Node will leave Aries, and the South Node will leave Libra. Officially, we got one eclipse left in Aries that sort of cleans up a story in March, but really it's done. It is on Saturday into Sunday that the nodes leave and enter in Pisces and Virgo for about a year and a half here officially. This is a major shifting moment here when it comes to the eclipse stories here, and also for, Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces, and Mercury, the ruler of Virgo. Those will be our focus planets here whenever the eclipses happen, or we have transits that are touching and squaring and aspecting the nodes. We will be looking to this. A little bit of madness in some sort of ways. It is the first time in basically 3+ years that the rulers of the nodes will not be in Mars, in Venus Mars ruled. Remember, because we did a Taurus and Scorpio situation. We did this one with Aries and Libra. Now we switch up and we go to Jupiter, Mercury ruled eclipses, and Mercury at times will be retrograde for some of these. It's wild, and we'll be paying attention to Jupiter. And we should, especially this year, because once Jupiter leaves Gemini and goes into Cancer, it will be a massive part of these Pisces connections. And then we got water here in a way, and I like it. There's some Jupiter moments that are going to be happening when they are at least trining the North Node that could be interesting and I think really cool. Now, saying that, we're taking a look as a review. We could see Venus is already here, Saturn moving along, and a story that's building for the massive peak that's going to happen in March with eclipses, a Venus retrograde, a Mercury retrograde, etc., etc. That happens on the 11th, and then it's on the 12th here on Sunday. We'll go to the next day. Here we have, we have Mars here at 27 degrees, trining Neptune here at 27 or 27. A little bit of a release valve in a sense for those dealing with the harshness and the coarseness in emotional waters here with the Mars in Cancer retrograde. And we have a interesting place here where Neptune dissolves the coarseness, I feel, the abrasiveness, the sensitivity, the wound, in a sense, that comes up here with Mars and the inflammation in Cancer, and Neptune puts its own interesting dissolving medicine over that, or it's a safe, escaped place to be emotionally, not escapism, but to escape to try to at least gauge the first week of this Mars in Cancer part. Again, let us remember that we are kind of transversing over a place, especially with this particular aspect that comes in the end of October when Mars was at the late degrees of Cancer at that time, and it made aspects, to Saturn along the way and to Neptune. So this is not new. This is something we go back again, we're going back into the memory world, into the feeling world, into what is the story here, and Neptune gives something to this. Do I briefly mention the next day? I will do it, and then start to be done with the stream, or at least finalize the deal, and that has to do with a boom, boom, boom here. And this is the full moon that's happening here upcoming Monday into Tuesday, January 13th. Here it's at 23 degrees Cancer. And you see the sun, Capricorn sun. You see Mercury here moving along fast now. And we mentioned the Pisces planets. Now the nodes there. And we're watching Jupiter. It's still retrograde. Uranus about to move forward here soon. But we're paying attention to the biggie here. So this particular full moon is huge for the Mars in Cancer retrograde cycle. It's coming up on Monday. I think it gets really intense here at this point. We get a little bit of the Neptune salve here on the weekend, and we jump right into the space. We want to utilize in a way of like trying not to be in contention or warring factions here. But with the Mars conjunct the full moon here, we already know full moons are intense anyway, regardless of the sign. And then in Cancer, it's your one of the year, and Mars is in this backwards. Maybe we can carry some of the Neptune along with this. I, in particular, want you to focus on Venus and Saturn. Saturn's my guy. How many arrows can I put up on this screen? There, I just did, but we want to pay attention to here. I think this particular something, the moon at 23 degrees on the way to the full moon, is going to trine Venus and trine Saturn. If you can use Saturn to help you contain and move through and see the bigger picture to the inflammational story that happens with Mars and Cancer, if you can do this, so whatever comes up emotionally or is suppressed emotionally, that whole story, can Saturn hold the boundary and hold the rules and bring rules to this? And interesting thing is Saturn being here in Pisces is still ruled by this Jupiter retrograde, so things aren't functioning on all cylinders. And then we look to what rules this, and here is Mercury. And this is what I'm telling you all, why I said I like this Mercury and Capricorn transit. It is ruled at this point by Saturn in Pisces. They got it together there. I like this. This is where you go. It's Saturn and Mercury with this one to help contain it, to bring some structure to it, to bring rules. Sometimes when the Cancer story spills out and it has no container, it is like a tidal wave, and it is like you can't breathe emotionally, or some people can feel that way, or it's just too much. It's just too much, right? So we want to bring some logical matters into this, and a little bit of Saturnian and the Mercurial brain power in Capricorn, and find the bigger picture of it all, and to trust that with structure and form and some sort of mantra to hold it together, the consistency of Saturn, right? The slow building parts of Saturn, Mercury in here communicating in the way where it is present with feeling, but also has its own like separateness, where it doesn't completely enmesh and leak into each other. And that's what we appreciate Capricorn for and Saturn for, is because we have to keep those places in order. And I think here it can really help this particular situation. That is my take on it. Again, there's some other aspects in this chart, but this is a hot and heavy full moon coming up for a lot of people, especially those affected by the transit that we talked about for each rising sign, especially Cancer risings, cardinal signs, so on and so forth. Am I even still on the stream? I lost my chat window. And I keep losing it because this dang thing. All right. So Karen Locker, thanks for the super chat. Wow. You guys, surprise live stream is happening. Thank you. Oh, Karen. Oh, yeah. You got it. Lapis. Underworld. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So thanks for the super chat. All right. Now, that was a quick full moon thing. Demi Moore won Best Actress in the movie last night, the Golden Globes. An amazing. I watching it. I'm too busy right now. I have a lot to do because I'm disappeared for 3 weeks. But I went to go look at the charts, and immediately went to hers because we got Scorpio here. It's an incredible Scorpio, and I'll talk about. I'll be private, but looked at the chart last night. We can do it here. Let's just go to there. I'll go day before here, and you could see that on the top of her chart here, career, who she is, that Mercury was directly connected to her midheaven, the top of her chart. You could see Mars retrograde at this point was hitting her nodes, and she's in the middle of a, Mars return that's going to come back here in the springtime. We'll get to this. And you can also see that Venus was exactly conjunct her Jupiter in her chart, and she gets elevated for this award. And I watched the speech, very eloquently said by this person, by a Mercury Neptune person in Scorpio. Can you imagine? And a Pisces rising. Can you imagine this person's private life? I'm sure in their love affairs of the years, some of them have been public, right? But can you imagine? Regardless, it was an interesting speech, as in someone saying they were going to quit or they thought they would never feel like they were in the category of actors that would win a Golden Globe because of the work they've done in the past. Check this out, of the past. Whatever the case is, this is what happened to this person. They had a massive thing happen. Now, Chris, you're out there watching. I don't know if you are. We conversation yesterday or something. But Chris, on one of his posts last night, went deeper, where he went to go look at Jodie Foster's chart, who also won an award, who was born a week later, and a Scorpio that has angles the same and has the transits hitting their chart. It's pretty wild. And he made a great point in a post where Jodie's chart and her chart, Demi Moore's chart, is interesting because we're in a current cycle where Venus is going retrograde and right? Because it's in Pisces, Aries. And Demi's born with the Venus retrograde here at 20 degrees. For Sun, I mean, it's a major Venus person here. And so Venus transiting and hitting her Jupiter, it's just a wild, amazing synchronistic astrology thing. As always, they received a massive award. I in particularly think that we're going to hear more from her. She could win an Oscar, but I actually think there's something else to more than this. And I think there's going to be news. There's going to be something else that comes into publicly that has to do with her home life. There's something else, and eclipses are coming. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying a story is being projected. They're in the public again. We're going to hear and see more. And I hope, you hope for the best, but they just had a pinnacle moment in their lives right here. And it could continue. As Chris mentioned in a post here, when Venus goes retrograde, as their Venus retrograde person, we're dealing with the Oscars. There's a lot of stuff. It's something to look at, okay? And there's other people. So saying that, I'm looking at chat. All right. So, yeah, mind you, now we're talking with people with a lot of money, so it's a little different than some of our lives, okay? So saying that, let's keep going. Justin Trudeau basically resigned today from Prime Minister after 10 years in Canada. I was looking at the chart last night. They got Jupiter going through the world retrograde in their 10th house. But this is what's really going on is basically Uranus is basically striking the top of their chart and bottom of their chart. We'll go back to, man, my programs are running slow. I'm using Chrome this time if someone's watching, and the Chrome tabs are crashing on me in this stream. So basically you could see Uranus here. It's coming pretty much to station forward, and that's going to happen on January 30th, pretty close to the full moon, but that happens at 23 degrees, but it's pretty much stationary now, and it's hitting the top of his chart. We also know that Jupiter there is retrograde in his 10th. That's going to move forward in February. We see the nodes on the Pluto. He's got his own thing. Neptune on his Mars. Something is going out the door here. And obviously, he's having a Mercury return. I think it's a major factor here of stuff that was building up for the last year. But it was during the retrograde in November and December. If you look at the news with Justin dealing with their politics up there, him resigning because of possibly losing the next election to bring somebody in, it's not good for him in general. And I think for that particular party. But all of this came through hitting his angles of his chart. He resigned today. That's a quick version. And look at, he's got more to go. He's got Pluto on his Venus. And the Mars-Pluto oppositions were directly hitting his stuff, his Venus, and his nodes here, even in the last week. So you see here, node, it's going to come back. When Mars in April 17th and after comes back to this point, expect to see more to this story. And look at, we have a 29-degree Mars in Pisces. Saturn's coming there. The eclipses, it's all there. The North Node this week is going to 29 degrees. You could see a major switch up happening in their life. There's a lot more to this chart. All right, so Donald Trump. Now, I have to do something off screen here before I do this quick something, and I have my reasons for doing this. Hold on a second. I'm calling something. What? It was on the 18th. It was. Oh, Nicholas. Oh, sentence. I'm searching for something right now. I pulled up Mary Kay Letourneau's sentencing chart. Where the hell is it? Oh, I know why. Why does it keep picking that? All right, I can't show you this right now because of privacy reasons, because I got to keep that shit together. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna go here and go back to main chart, and we have a date. Oh, my CPU is running high, and why is that happening? Now I know what's going on. This is a particular date that September 18th, when the Trump sentencing was supposed to go down, or how it did. And man, a lot of this stuff got postponed eventually. But you could see that Mars was hitting his Mercury at the time. Jupiter was on his node. Obviously, he won the election. There's a lot more to all this, okay? Saturn, Mercury opposition that was happening at the time. Now, it's here on the 10th. We're dealing with Friday coming up here. Is a massive day politically. This whole week politically in the U.S. is huge. But we have a massive day on Friday, because this is the day he is actually going to get sentenced. He's not going to go to jail, but the judge upheld the sentencing. So this is basically, you could see here that the retrograde Mars is pretty much back over his world on his Venus. You could catch this here, and you see where Jupiter in the moon here is on Gemini, hitting, all his Gemini stuff. His node, we're dealing with the fall here. Regardless, there's, for sure, the sentencing's going to happen. Now, the same thing that happens on this day is another huge day in American politics, because basically, when we look at this, closing the free form down because I need to. And okay, so basically this is the day, and I'll go by the hours. I don't know when they're gonna do it per se, but it's gonna be early morning. I'm gonna pick something there or something. I don't know. It's around that time. I'm stuttering here. Is Supreme Court is going to basically make a decision or somewhat decision on the TikTok app situation on whether it gets banned in the United States. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I want the sucker to get banned. But there's a ACLU, EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, a lot of people there do not want this to happen because of freedom of speech issues. Now, this is huge because the ban is supposed to happen on the 20th when Trump comes into office. And recently Trump has been one to say maybe he's kind of like, well, they helped me win and maybe it shouldn't. And so I think there's things going on behind the scenes. One of the main people who works in the U.S. division for TikTok. So remind you, China owns TikTok. No matter what ByteDance company says, they are owning it, and it is a information sucker. Like all the apps, Meta does it too. Instagram, they all do it. Google, they're watching your stuff, what you buy, whatever. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people on both political parties who want this app to get banned. Let me remind you that TikTok is banned in India and a couple other places. Okay, now there's a bunch of other people who are pissed because they've been making their money on TikTok the last 3 or 4 years because of a jacked up algorithm that basically was beating out YouTube or Instagram and whatever. And everybody changed in the last 2 years, the way they're doing social media and the apps to a more video oriented way of TikTok way. Now, saying that, it's changed everything in the social media world and it's in flux. It's here on the 10th that the decision is going to be made. And I want to make a point of this here because basically in the last several years when there's been TikTok decisions by the president or Congress and the laws and the fighting, and basically they've told TikTok, you need to sell it to a U.S.-owned subsidiary. You need to get out of Chinese hands. They're saying no, and they did all these things in the last year to try to avoid this. And so it got passed, but it's going to the Supreme Court on Friday. And all of this has been happening really in this point of the TikTok story at 0 degrees Aquarius. And every time that Pluto's hit 0 degrees Aquarius, even from last year, there's been some sort of proclamation or judgment by the government leading up to the situation. And it comes here on Friday. This is huge because let's say it does get banned, it is going to completely change social media in general in this country. Everyone's going to be flocking to the other apps. Now, I have a feeling that it's not because I think the Supreme Court is in Trump's pocket, in a sense, politically aligned. I think there's some sort of judgment or some sort of thing that they're going to give it a loophole for it to happen. I don't think it's going to get outright banned. There's something, but that decision comes down on Friday. I think it is one of the most major decisions of the year in general because of the possible outcomes that will happen from this. We're going to pay attention to this. The aspects, we have a Mars retrograde, but we have, I think is the most interesting thing all this to fill this in is the moon and Jupiter and air signs. There's moon, Jupiter connecting with Pluto. And we want to take a look at where Mercury is. There's a judgment that's going to be made. All right. So saying that is what I wanted to go through today in my impromptu live stream. A lot there. And Isha says from the situation in Canada, because he resigned, but I know Justin's still there. And he said he put Parliament on hold till the 23rd. So we're looking at eclipse. Isha in chat, who lives up there, saying along with the March 23rd eclipse area, this plays out for Justin Trudeau and whatever. Wake me for this. I want it to get banned because I think it is an evil app that has done so much to young America. And I think the darkness of that app outweighs the positive. And my opinion, I don't give a shit about what anybody else says or how much stake they have in the game. You've had enough time to possibly leave. But that app, and I actually think that it is a spy app for China. Just going to say it. I know the U.S. spies on their own citizens. I know that doesn't make it an excuse. There's a massive difference. For me, the TikTok app itself, I think, is really sidetracked the brains of many people in this country. Social media does in general, but I'm thinking about the young population of this country. Ask any parent out there. They're not going to say Instagram that's messing with their kids. They're not going to say that. It's TikTok. Snapchat enters the realm. Different story. They're not Chinese owned. There's several different factors. I in particularly don't like the app. I think it's nasty. But then again, the nastiness and the tweaking of a hyperinflated algorithm the other apps want that. It's just interesting spot. I can't stand TikTok. Yeah. Let's keep going. All right, let me finish up here and be done with my stream at an hour and a half. It's time to go. And geez, my thing is working. So anyway, that's what's happening this week with an impromptu live stream. Blah, blah, blah. Alex D, my attention span is still recovering from TikTok, YouTube shorts, Insta Reels. Yeah. Moonsprouts. Yeah, I think if there's a balance, all TikTok had to do is to sell it to a U.S. subsidiary or find a buyer. And there's been buyers, but they've blown the buyers off to try to put this thing like, no, it's not connected to Chinese servers, no, this and that. But it's all BS in my mind. I'm not trying to be isolationist Trump voter. I just do not trust what's been happening from the China-Russia end, from disinformation campaigns and what they're doing. Put it this way. You go ask the Chinese why there isn't certain apps going on in that world over there without Chinese citizens having to use VPNs to even try to deal with stuff to watch on our end. They know what they're doing. They know because at the same time, they could say that our apps are infiltrating the minds of it's Western culture, whatever. They got their own thing going on there. Whatever the case, I'm done with that rant. By the way, I'm thinking about being on Snapchat I have a reason. Rant done. I want to thank everybody who, by the way, hit me up on the stream with a donation. Wake me from this. That makes sense. I don't use it a lot, but I'm 100% now. Yeah, and I have friends who use it, and they've made their living. There's a lot of people in the esoteric world that made their living. At the same time, there's a lot of grifters, but there's grifters everywhere. But if I were somebody who's built up a following on TikTok, the excuses made for the ban and what they're using, most of them, I laugh at. I can come up with better excuses why I should be around, but at the same time, if you're on TikTok, you got a following, you haven't done it yet, you prepare yourself and get on your other apps to keep your thing going. And hint, YouTube, I am telling you, YouTube is a place, whether you like it or not, it's got the reach. Let's say goodbye. Let's come from this The Lady of Coins appears on the broadcast. From Robert Place, a massive dude in the tarot world, just picked up the book for this. You can find it on his own personal website, which is a plethora of information and crazy tarot decks that he's made. This one in particular has a wild history. You can go read about it. I'm really digging this deck. I love it. The card stock is perfect. The artwork is amazing. Robert Place. Thanks, buddy. So let's go to the Lady of Coins. If I can find it. Oh, dude, I didn't even know if it does it. Robert signed it, mofo. He signed it. Look at her. Thanks, homie. Damn. I know you do that for all of them, but come on now. Come on, homie. Jeez, man. I didn't even see that. The Lady of Coins. A wealthy woman who's competitive but trustworthy, or maybe obliging at the same time, deceitful. Hermes Trismegistus, or Trismete, I'm not saying that right. I can't believe it. Calls her a dark-haired, jealous woman. You may notice that the Lady of Coins in my deck is the same queen who is depicted in the Potomac coin. Although the female court cards in traditional tarot decks are labeled the queen, the Demi, this is what this deck is based off. You go to his website, you see what he bases off. Demi is used the title lady in quotes. Perhaps this was another influence from the Alouette playing card decks, which include a courtier, 2 royals in each suit, a knave, a lady on horseback who seems to be a combination, a knight, and a queen and a king. So basically, a wealthy woman who is competitive but trustworthy, or maybe obliging and at the same time deceitful. So he's giving you 2 sides of this. And is there any wealthy women out there who need a no. Thanks for watching the stream. Yeah, it's not necessarily Egyptian, but check it out. Just go see Robert's website. That website is an incredible website that he has. Moon Sprout says diversify, and that's a great word for the card. Thank you for saying that, Moon Sprout. Thank you for saying that. Now, as I say goodbye to you, I'm not on the books. My books, I'm gone this weekend until the first week of February. I will try to do some videos in the meantime there. It might be on the road. They're not going to be from here per se. And I could open them up, my books, and do readings on the road, but I don't know what's going to be going on with me. And I need to maybe have some time to relax. I'm going to be honest with you all. I've been through a lot the last 4 years, and I'm in a lot place now. I have some tasks and things ahead of me besides leaving for 3 weeks, but I have other things coming my way this year that are going to be filled with work and that are challenging that I need to take care of. So I have to balance my relaxation and rejuvenation, and hopefully I get some of this in the next couple of weeks. I need it. Saying that, if you're in Australia, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in Gold Coast area, Brisbane, possibly other areas. Get a hold of me if you want a face-to-face reading. I will do readings in person there. I came up with a special rate. I think it's $260 Australian, which figures to one something American. Maybe we can work it out. I wish I had time to socialize, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to do that in a sense, but I have to be up for readings if you want to do it. Yeah, so I'll be putting stuff for my Patreon and paid channel members here. I will be doing updates on my trip, and maybe I could pull a surprise live stream off from a phone or something if I have the data or the internet, but maybe not. Maybe I chill, and do posts. Follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky and all there too, because I will be posting on there on my stories. What else do I have to say? Thanks for joining a surprise live stream. And yeah, thanks, chat. Yeah, there is some bookstores I'm going to be there. I've seen Astro Stephanie. I already have some bookstores I'm going to go check out. And yeah, so saying that's the life of the man with the yellow hat. Okay, always showing you what's up, like. Because, when you're curious, the man with the yellow hat's like Saturn, actually. Saturn comes in and he just helps Curious George figure out the puzzle, basically. Or fix the mess the Curious George got into. All right, let's end this. Thanks, Eva, Alta, and everybody in chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll see you on... That's my transition today. Maybe I should go fade out with this instead of my face. You know, I got to get prepared to leave here. But one thing's for sure. One thing is for sure. I said I wasn't prepared for this stream, but in a lot of ways, the last several years, I've prepared to do things on the fly on this channel. That when opportunity struck or openings came up, I was mutable enough and fixed and structured enough and prepared enough to do a live stream on the fly without any research. And I take that into my life, that I want to have structure and be prepared and allow creativity and fluidness to come in. If you take anything from this live stream here tonight, when I talked about Mars and Cancer and everything is, in one way we're preparing for a bigger something down the way in the Cancer parts of your chart, the water parts of your chart. But we need to go back. We need to go back and we need to look. And we need to look at those metaphorical memories in those places of pain, of happiness, of what once was. And we remember the stories that we carry with us. Some of them we let go. Some of them we change and bring forward with us.